Okay, the following video should give you a brief overview of what we're attempting to do. Now, it's not specific to our industry, however it has many similarities.
My name's Sue Brady and I'm the Acting Parking Enforcement and CCTV Manager. I manage a team of 32 civil enforcement officers with 4 team leaders. On a day-to-day basis, they do have verbal abuse, and a lot of them don't bother with things like that because it's just one of those things. But some of them have encountered like assaults and stuff like that, being spat at, and without the evidence to back them up, the police were not willing to go forth with a prosecution. And we looked into body-worn cameras because we felt that this was the best way of supporting them. When we were looking at getting body-worn cameras, we looked at several other designs, but we liked the body-worn cameras because you could move the head. That was quite a good feature. Also, the fact that you supply them to the police, we thought, well, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. Since we started working with Reveal, I have to say the experience has been really good. We've got 46 body-worn cameras. Every officer is issued with one and the team leaders, and we have a few spares just in case. Having the camera there is a huge deterrent. If you get an angry driver, as soon as they see it, they change their behaviour because they don't want somebody to have footage of them shouting and swearing. The cameras have been useful, particularly one case which really sticks out. We had a driver was being rude to, he was swearing at him and pushing him, and it got taken to court and he got charged. If he hadn't have had the body-worn camera, nothing would have happened. It wouldn't have been a prosecution because the police wouldn't have had any evidence, so we would be in the same position that we were before we had the body-worn cameras. I find the DEMS programme easy to work with. I use it, one of my guys in my review team also uses it, and the team leaders use it because they obviously, if there is footage to download, they'll download it. We store it as evidence if it needs storing as evidence. We were contacted by a few other councils who asked if they could use our policy, and we're happy to share. If you don't have a clear policy of how you're going to deal with things when they come in, then you could be really shooting yourself in the foot.
So the purpose of this training is to ensure that Yorwaste staff who've been appointed to wear and operate body-worn cameras receive sufficient training, instruction and guidance on their use. Topics covered will include what are body-worn cameras, why do we need them, when and when not to operate them, how to operate them, how to manage storage, security and general care, the legal implications of recording on body cameras, and finally we'll have some answers to a handful of frequently asked questions. Before we begin the training, there's another short video worth watching. This will hopefully demonstrate one of the reasons why body cams are such a useful tool for us to capture accurate evidence that will enable us to take action.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
That's right, madam.
It's just a matter of observation. The real question is, how observant were you?
And action.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Well, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
So that was the original scene when the film started playing. And this is the scene at the end. How many changes did you notice? I've circled the 21 that there was. Now this demonstrates that even when you're looking directly at a scene, there are many details, things, occurrences and activities that can very easily be missed. This is because you're focusing on one thing that you think is important, in this case whodunit, and unintentionally filter out everything else. Body cams will give us the ability to see everything, including context as situations, incidents and occurrences unfold. So what are body-worn cameras? Well, body-worn cameras are relatively small devices that have the ability of capturing high-quality video and audio of interactions between customers, staff and contractors. The models we've purchased are from the market leader in the UK and are the exact same cameras used by the majority of UK police forces, as well as in prisons, local government and private security. Some of the key features are a front-facing screen, which is proven to have a calming effect on people being recorded and maximises transparency with the public. It has an articulated camera head. Being able to direct the head allows the camera to be worn in various places on people of all shapes and sizes. It has a one-touch record. Having a single, quick and simple action to turn the camera on is an essential feature. And continuous recording on a loop that allows the camera to retain footage from just before pressing the record button. This ensures that recordings include the context leading up to an event, and may be helpful if an operative does not press the record button in the immediate heat of an altercation. Why are we rolling out body cameras on all the HWRC sites we manage? Well, there's a long list of reasons, however, here's the top 10. So number 1 is to enhance our current evidence capture provision, which is CCTV. The big disadvantages of which are a lack of audio, which can make all the difference, particularly when looking at customer complaints. One of the other disadvantages is of course distance. CCTV is high up on a pole. Body-worn cameras will record close up for an operative's point of view. Number 2 is that they de-escalate conflict or confrontation. You'll soon realise that when wearing a body camera, the way people interact with you changes, sometimes quite dramatically. They discourage aggressive and abusive behaviour. When people realise they're being filmed, behaviours are quickly altered, which in turn has the effect of reducing complaints. Because people can see they're being recorded, they're far less likely to make false allegations or spurious claims. The cameras will provide evidence to support internal investigations, reduce staff's fear of crime or aggressive or violent behaviour, raise standards of service, help to investigate breaches in health and safety policies and procedures, assist in the investigation of allegations of inappropriate conduct, and finally develop staff skills through the use of operational footage for training purposes. Body-worn cameras must be fairly operated within the law and only for the purposes that they're specified for. Use of a body-worn camera must therefore be proportionate. There must be a valid reason for using them. Recording must be incident specific. Operatives should not indiscriminately record entire duties. They must be legitimate in accordance with the standards set out in our body-worn camera policy and the training you've been given today. It must be necessary. The camera should only be recording when footage might support professional observation. And finally, justifiable. The decision to record or not record any incident remains with the operator, providing that justification can be given. Body-worn cameras should be activated for recording whenever the operator witnesses an incident or accident that would benefit evidential recording. Whether if they have an interaction which is confrontational or where they believe may lead to confrontation or physical or verbal abuse. If they encounter a situation where they're approached in a manner perceived as aggressive or threatening. Witnessed a serious breach in health and safety policy, procedure, a near miss, dangerous occurrence or inappropriate conduct. If they are responding to an alarm bell or an incident. Or considers the use of body-worn cameras to be proportionate, legitimate, necessary and justifiable. Recording must not be stopped until you are certain the incident is fully over. Again, finally be mindful that failing to record an incident will also require explanation. So when body-worn cameras shouldn't be used, they shouldn't be used in a hidden or covert manner. They shouldn't be used to record general working duties, outside the confines of the site, or when out of uniform or without clearly displaying Yorwaste identification. Again, be mindful that recording an incident that should not be recorded will require an explanation. There's only 3 controls on the unit that the operator needs to touch. These are the articulated camera lens head, the record, start, stop slide, the on-off button, and we're going to look at these in detail in the coming slides. So charging at the end of each shift, the camera must be plugged into the site computer. This will charge the unit overnight, ready for the next day, and automatically download any data or video collected. This cannot be viewed or deleted by the camera user. The LED indicator on the top of the unit flashes blue when it's charging and green when charging is complete. The USB charging and data connector is located at the bottom of the camera. So mounting the camera, first put the harness on. Do not mount the camera in the harness until you have the harness on. Hold the camera upside down and pull the camera into the click fast mount. You'll feel a positive click when the mount is fully engaged. Swivel the camera around 180 degrees, which locks it into its mount so it can't be accidentally or deliberately removed. To remove it from the harness, simply reverse the procedure. General use and recording is simple. Once the harness has been put on and the camera is mounted securely, switch the unit on by pressing the function button for 1 second. You'll hear a welcome chime and the camera display will activate. This is called preview mode and is the setting you will leave the unit in whilst you carry out your duties. To record video footage, simply slide the red switch down to start capturing. The unit will beep 3 times in quick succession to indicate that it's recording, and the LED on the shoulder of the camera will start flashing red. In the rare event that you need to record and the unit hasn't been switched on yet, just press down the record button and it'll automatically power up and start recording. This shouldn't normally be required, however it is a feature. To stop recording, simply slide the red switch up and you'll hear the camera beep 2 times, which indicates it's stopped recording. and of course the red LED on the shoulder of the camera will stop flashing. The camera will then continue to operate in preview mode, and any footage captured will automatically be downloaded overnight when the unit is placed on charge in the USB port on site PC. The thing to bear in mind is that the unit is constantly pre-recording audio and video on a 30-second loop. This means that when you press the button, it's already recorded 30 seconds of footage. This can make a huge difference to what is captured. Pre-record footage can add valuable context, for example what was said or happened before a customer became abusive, or it can prove critical if you hit the button a bit too late in the urgency of a situation. So in this example, you'll see that feature in action. I'll play the footage that has been captured. Now, when you hear the 3 beeps, that is the actual point when the record button was pressed by the user. Don't concern yourself with the content of the video. This was one of the trial units we put out. But looking at the video, you'll notice that the operative wearing the body cam is using his personal mobile phone, and this will be seen when pre-record starts, something to bear in mind. So listen out for them 3 beeps, and that's the actual point when the record button was pressed.
Hello. What are we doing? Well, we can't be having that, mate. You'd have to take them back. What?
Not anymore.
Just let you know I'm filming, mate, and body cam. We can't have asbestos like that all over the floor.
It's not asbestos, is it?
So why is it going to asbestos?
Well, because they won't take it.
They won't take it anything else.
They won't take it anywhere else, will they?
Right. You have to understand.
So the storage of the units, they must be plugged into the site PC, as we've mentioned, to charge and download any captured data at the end of each shift. The body worn camera log must be completed at the start and end of every shift to formally record that a pre-use visual inspection is being carried out, to log who's actually wearing the camera on what days and during what times, and to confirm the unit has been connected to the PC for charging and data download. The form to log all that information will be sent out following this video. So some frequently asked questions. Why are you filming? We're filming for public and site staff safety, to help investigate any complaints and incidents which may happen on site. Are you allowed to film? Yes, we are. Legally, anyone is allowed to film in a public area. There are signs advertising the use of body cameras on CCTV on each site. CCTV has been used at the recycling centres for over 5 years. Will the cameras record constantly? No. The cameras will never be recording constantly. They'll only be switched on if the site staff think an interaction may escalate. This is to ensure the public are not necessarily impeded. Members of the public will be told as soon as practicable that they are being recorded, and when the camera is recording, it's visible by a flashing red light. Can I ask for the camera to be switched off? So no, the cameras are on site for the purpose of public and staff safety. And finally, can I have a copy of the footage that you've filmed? If the public wish to view footage taken of them, they can request it from Yorwaste in writing, and each case will be considered in conjunction with our GDPR regulations. It must be within 30 days before the footage is automatically deleted from the system. Little bit is just around witness statements. So a witness statement is a written account of events that have taken place. Its purpose is to provide support to an investigation or complaint. It's important to remember that a witness statement is a legal document and therefore can be used as evidence should legal proceedings follow. Therefore, in a witness statement, you must always give a truthful and accurate account of the event. This guidance has been produced to help you write a statement. We have listed below some of the golden rules that should be followed if you're asked to write a statement. So one is the witness statement is a legal document regardless of the circumstances. Okay, it must be legible and easy for anyone to read, and as a witness statement, it is a legal document. You must ensure to always tell the truth. Make sure you give a truthful and accurate account of the event that has taken place. Statements are designed to relate factual information, so they should be about what you saw, heard and said. Essentially what you know took place. They are not about what somebody else told you happened or what they saw or speculation. And finally, take your time to write it. It's your statement and you should take time to ensure that you're happy with its content and accuracy. Examples of witness statements. We've got an abusive behaviour report, a general incident witness statement and a refusal to pay form. They're all witness statements. There are others, but for example near miss, accident reports, but these are all witness statements. So that concludes the training. Hopefully there's been enough information in there for you to get started. If you have any questions or concerns, in the first instance, if you contact the IT department or your supervisor or line manager. Thank you.